There is a particular quality of attention that appears in people who have genuinely confronted the fact of their own death, not as an abstract philosophical concept but as an immediate and unavoidable reality. They notice things more sharply. They are less patient with the trivial. They make decisions with greater clarity. They seem, paradoxically, more alive than people who have managed to keep mortality at a comfortable distance. Viktor Frankl spent years observing this quality, first in his psychiatric practice in Vienna, and then in the concentration camps, where death was not a distant abstraction but the most reliable feature of every day. Frankl's thinking about death drew on the existential philosophical tradition, particularly the work of Martin Heidegger, who argued that authentic human existence requires what he called being toward death, a genuine acknowledgement of one's finitude that transforms the way one inhabits the time that remains. For Heidegger, most people live in what he called das Man, the anonymous mass, the comfort of conventional existence, precisely because it allows them to avoid the confrontation with death. The crowd provides cover. Business provides noise. And in the noise, the most important questions go permanently unasked. Frankl agreed with this diagnosis and went further, connecting it to the question of meaning. His argument was clean. If life were infinite, nothing would matter very much. You could always do it later. You could always revise the decision. You could always come back to the relationship you have been neglecting, the work you have been postponing, the apology you have been avoiding. The infinite timeline deprives choices of their weight. It is precisely because life is finite, because this moment, once past, is permanently past, that what we do with it has any gravity at all. In the concentration camps, where the possibility of death arrived without warning and without appeal, Frankl observed the way finitude clarified things. He writes about prisoners who, in the most desperate circumstances, achieved a kind of inner freedom that comes from having nothing left to lose, and therefore nothing left to pretend. The performance ended. The social persona dissolved. What remained was the essential person, making essential choices about how to be in the time that was left. Some became brutal. Others achieved what Frankl considered a kind of human greatness, a quality of presence and care and dignity that the comfortable life had never required of them. Frankl's point is not that suffering and mortal danger are good. He is not recommending the camps as a character-building exercise. His point is that the awareness of death, held honestly, without defensive evasion, has the capacity to produce a similar clarifying effect in ordinary life, without requiring catastrophe. The person who meditates genuinely on their own mortality does not thereby become morbid or paralyzed. They become more serious, more intentional, and paradoxically often more joyful, because they have stopped taking the gift of each day for granted. He also addressed the fear of death, which he saw as partly a natural response to an overwhelming prospect and partly a product of the existential vacuum. People who have found genuine meaning in their lives, he observed, tend to face death with greater equanimity, not because they want to die, but because they have lived in a way that feels complete, or at least authentically engaged with what mattered. The person who has spent their life in the existential vacuum, accumulating, distracting, deferring, tends to face death with greater terror, because they sense that something essential was never done, never lived, never genuinely met. Frankl described the irreversibility of the past as a source of comfort, which is counterintuitive until you follow the logic. Every good act, every genuine moment, every authentic encounter, once it has occurred, it is permanent. It enters the realm of what has been, and nothing can reach back and undo it. The transience of the present does not negate its value. It secures it. The moment passes, but the having happened of it is indestructible. This perspective transforms the relationship to time. Each day becomes not just another unit of duration but a specific, unrepeatable opportunity to respond to what is being asked of you, to do the thing that needs doing, say what needs saying, love who needs loving. The awareness of death, properly held, is not a shadow over life. It is the frame that makes the picture visible. Subscribe to the Psychology of Viktor Frankl to explore more of his timeless ideas.